So I'm going to start with talking about problem solving in business. One of the things that I think this will be true for any company in the world is actually nothing's ever going to be plain sailing. Nobody, I don't believe in the history of business ever, anyone's ever actually thought, I'm going to have an idea and they execute it and everything they ever do works perfectly first time and they retire or make $1 billion or whatever it is first kind of time. And what I was really interested to talk about is actually problem solving, but particularly problem solving in business, but how it can kind of change over time. One of the things that I always used to find quite interesting is that when I kind of was at university, it's funny that in theory, I had the same amount of, say, brain power as I do now. And I think this is true for a lot of younger people, that I was mega ambitious. I knew what I wanted to do and I knew that I had talents in certain ways. But what you don't quite appreciate as you kind of go through your career is that you have the brain power, you're smart enough to do a lot of stuff and you really want to progress up the tree. But actually, your reference points aren't there to actually have the knowledge to allow you to understand how to tackle those kind of problems to really help you progress your career. So the analogy I always like to use is actually like a computer game. So if you ever played like a role play kind of game where basically you start on level 1 and you kind of search the world and you go out and explore and do kind of different stuff. But at a certain point, you'll come to a door which appears to be locked. And then what you have to do, it's like on Mario, you have to go and find the key and then basically do a little adventure to basically find the knowledge to then go back, and that previously locked door you can almost get through. And what's really interesting just in terms of business is that is exactly still true. That you might want to start a business to do cupcakes or whichever, but actually the real crux of how to differentiate yourself in the market and really get traction and sell to customers and that kind of thing, it might actually be that there's some learning to do and you need to learn what works and what doesn't work. And that's not a negative, that's not anything negative on you. But the point is almost the more you can expose yourself to new ideas, new areas, see what other businesses do, see what other business leaders do, and actually just learn different concepts and stuff from other areas, I guarantee it will make a massive difference to your ability to figure out how to sell to your customers. What is it your customers actually kind of need? But this does take time. It's almost impossible to do this, perfectly from scratch from the start. And one of the examples that I like to use is that even when I first launched the roadmap, I knew what I wanted to launch, but it was only the more and more I got kind of customer feedback, it became so much more kind of valuable that actually that in itself allowed me to figure out and understand the customer and actually figure out how can I pivot and change. But often you don't know that. It's very easy to come up against a roadblock. So it might be I spoke previously in previous weeks, and this is part of the reason why I like to do this live, about how I wanted to get into retail. And basically what happened was that actually the body and the people that I was trying to get into retail, so there's an organization which basically, I think they're called a Great British Pop-Up Shop, who can help get you a spot into things like John Lewis and Phoenix and different stuff. Basically, they just said that this product wasn't right for them, so I got rejected. So in theory, I had the roadblock there. But actually, what it made me do is go back, reconsider, pivot, and the money that I'd almost allocated to do that, I can now put into something else. But actually, the perceived barrier is now actually a really big opportunity for me, because actually it's something that I'm now a lot more excited about. I'm going to talk about in the kind of future. But those things kind of happen. So even as someone that teaches this stuff, nobody knows all the answers. If they say they do, they're lying. But actually what you're really looking to do is as you go through your career, almost look to gain experience, gain knowledge, see what works, see what doesn't work. And it's that kind of thing that as I went through my career, if you would have asked a 24, 25-year-old me, I would have been like, yeah, I can take on the world, I can do anything. And the truth is, I needed some extra tools and techniques and knowledge and learning and experience to really allow me to do that. So if I would have started the same business then, I probably wouldn't have been quite ready. But actually with the launch of the roadmap and that kind of thing, what I'm essentially trying to do is help give people the knowledge and experience and stuff that I never had and had to learn from scratch to help you along that journey. But then likewise, never get almost disheartened if it's not as easy as you hoped, or you're looking to pivot or change or that kind of thing. And yeah, if you ever kind of get stuck, just think of the computer game example that every good adventurer on their quest almost, that's the whole fun of the game. It's how you kind of go through it. That if every computer game, you literally just press right or forward and you just defeated everybody and went through every door without any challenge, it'd be a crap game. You wouldn't enjoy it. But it's that ability to learn, adapt, and improve is really important. But the way to really do that is to expose you to lots of different stuff, different ideas, different sectors, different personalities. Listen to different podcasts. And often the key to the door can come through one gem that you learn from someone over there. That could be to do with fashion, it could be to do with maths, it could be to do with anything. And it was just a really interesting topic that I thought was worth talking about, because actually, yeah, the 20, 25-year-old me would still feel that I could do anything and take on the world, which is true. But with experience, that really gives you the tools to really use that to its biggest kind of advantage. So if you catch up on YouTube, my name's Steve Pugh. Please kind of like and subscribe some of the content. We talk about business, the kind of entrepreneurship on this channel. If you ever got any questions, please feel free to reach out, and you can check out roadmapmba.com or at roadmapmba on most of the kind of social channels. And then likewise, if you ever want to start your own business or do your own thing, please feel free to reach out. I'll happily send you a free course. I've got one arriving in California tomorrow, I think. And it's that kind of thing. It's a genuine worldwide course. So it doesn't matter if you're in China, Ghana, Ukraine, Estonia, anywhere. Please feel free to kind of reach out.